this on? Oh, anyway, cool. Anyway, so in this video, we'll be seeing my initial election prediction for the 2022 Senate for 2022. So if you notice right here, Georgia regular has been covered. Remember, Jon Ossoff got elected to a 6-year term. Senior Senator of Georgia Jon Ossoff has got elected to a 6-year term, defeating former Senator David Perdue. Meanwhile, Senator Raphael Warnock, Junior Senator of Georgia Raphael Warnock, has defeated Kelly Loeffler in an appointed incumbent, which was a special election. Same thing in Arizona. Special elections in Arizona and Georgia. So Mark Kelly and Raphael Warnock are up for Senate in 2022. And this is not going to be like a Red Eagle politics simulation. No, not at all. His last video. Okay, so let's see if I can find it. I don't watch this channel at all. I'm more of a Let's Talk Election guy. See, I subscribe to him. Red Eagle politics is just too biased. No, seriously. Would Raven a red wave? Could happen, probably not.
Recent Republican, pretty much anybody's going in America in Maryland if he decides to run for Senate. And normally if he was going to run as a Republican, I don't believe he'd be able to win. That's why I believe he is going to run as an independent.
I'm pretty sure Larry Hogan has made it very clear he is not running for Senate in 2022. In fact, it's on the Wikipedia page or something. "2022 Senate." Okay, I'm not really a good speller. Okay, so basically take out the 0. That was close. Just take out the 0. For those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure Larry Hogan is the governor of Maryland. Maryland. Yes. Larry Hogan would be the former governor, although for some reason he cannot seek election to a consecutive term. He may be. Wait, what about the Maryland Senate election? Isn't there a Maryland Senate election? Yeah, this Maryland Senate election. So this is gonna be more of a Let's Talk election thing, which I like better. Come on, guys. Unless you're this crazy Republican, you're probably not gonna like it. Anyway, so it says no potential candidates, but Andy Harris, a U.S. representative, has declined. And Larry Hogan, incumbent governor of Maryland, is not running. So, So I'm referencing to the 2016 map just because all the senators, or at least most of the senators who are up in 2016, Marco Rubio, for example, will be up in 2024. Although there is one thing. John McCain in the state of Arizona, remember, he died. Why? Yeah, I'm an Arizonan citizen. I'm an Arizonian. Arizonian. Also, Johnny Isakson, who retired in the state of Georgia. Rob Portman in Ohio, he's also announced he's not running. Pennsylvania's Senate. Wait, I need to be more formal. Senior Senator of Florida Marco Rubio is running, I believe. Meanwhile, John McCain is not alive anymore. Former Senator John McCain is senior senator, I believe. John McCain isn't running. And Johnny Isakson, I believe, junior senator of Georgia, former junior senator of Georgia. Meanwhile, senior senator of Pennsylvania, Patrick J. Toomey, isn't running. And the same thing in North Carolina. Richard M. Burr, the senior senator, I believe, isn't running either. Also, Rob Portman in the state of Ohio isn't running. He did pretty good as a Republican candidate in the state of Ohio. Considering that Donald Trump only won by 8 points there. He swept every county except for Lucas County with Toledo, Cuyahoga County with Cleveland, Franklin County with Columbus, and Athens County with not really a city. But he did win in Cincinnati, Hamilton County. Isn't that a county in Indiana? Oh yeah, it is. There's also Vigo County next to the, I believe, Illinois border. A usually reliable bellwether county. So, we spent a lot of time talking about it. Okay, so right now, I think, actually, I know Washington, Oregon, and California. If California doesn't nominate 2 Republicans, there's pretty much no way the Republicans will win it again. Actually, I don't think they've won a Senate race in a very long time, if not at all. Sheehan, be quiet. Nevada, I think, will go lean. I think it's leaning more Democrat. Catherine Cortez Masto won by 2 points against Joe Heck. Anyway, so I think the lead may expand a bit. He did. John Heck did overperform Donald Trump in the state, I believe. Yes, no, he didn't. He barely. Despite that, he actually won Washoe County. Although since Clark County went to Catherine Cortez Masto by a larger margin than Donald Trump lost it, I believe. But I think the margin would stay about the same. I don't think it will be too shifty. The presidential election results are basically the same in Nevada, so. Why does Montana always be considered as a toss-up race? Meanwhile, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, South Carolina, Kentucky if Mitch McConnell doesn't get primaried. Actually, Mitch McConnell isn't up. So I don't think the Republicans will have too hard of a time winning Kentucky, if not at all. Kansas, the Republicans will probably win. So right now, but the Democrats will probably win in Illinois. That isn't exactly. No. Larry Hogan will not be running as an independent. And Maryland. He will not be running as an independent in Maryland. Eat something, we need to practice at 6 o'clock, okay? I'm in the middle of a recording. Yeah, 6 o'clock. I'm in the middle of a recording. Yeah, not now. I'm in the middle of a recording. Mommy, I'm in the middle of the recording and I don't need any interruptions, please. 6 o'clock. I don't need any interruptions, though. Sorry about that. Actually, Pennsylvania's not safe Democratic. Might not even be Democratic at all. We have to wait till the end. Connecticut, Maryland. Maryland, I don't see by any chance, probably. Also, we also forgot the state of Colorado. Yeah, I don't see the state getting competitive anytime soon. Also, we can check the election in Maryland. Maryland, one of the most gerrymandered states in the nation. Von Hollen won by around like more than 15% ish. More like almost 20. Actually, I think he's winning a lot in Baltimore. So basically, if you don't know, these regions around the DC suburbs are trending blue or are already blue. You know, I want to use a more suiting color. White isn't a really good option. So areas around this DC suburb are trending blue or are blue. Northern Virginia is getting blue, a former Republican state. St. Mary's County, of course, the lower population counties aren't exactly as large. In fact, the largest county would be in Baltimore. No, I believe the largest county would be in Baltimore County. I don't see that race getting competitive. If Larry Hogan changes his mind, I still won't see it getting any competitive. I don't think Alabama will get too competitive, but, you know, let's take that aside. So right now the Republicans are at 39 and the Democrats at 47. 48. And so the states I am going to consider swing. That'd be the states. Actually, Utah, no, Utah isn't swing. I thought Mitt Romney would have a hard chance of re-election due to many Democrats and Donald Trumpians or Trumpians maybe voting against Romney. 11 swing states and 11 swing states in one thing. So these states are all what I consider swing states. Well, you guys are going to be kind of surprised to see. You guys are probably going to complain about having the state of Alabama, Alaska. Oh, there's one more state we forgot. New Hampshire. But that's only on a one thing scenario. Alaska, Florida, although not as much really. You might also be surprising to see Iowa and Ohio, as well as Indiana and Missouri. So the reason I characterize these states, Ohio's Rob Portman isn't running. If they try to nominate some like Marjorie Taylor Greenish candidate or any like not really good candidates, no offense, Marjorie Taylor Greene, although it's true, and if they tried running a really, really popular Democrat in the state, then they could possibly win the Senate race. In Ohio, in Iowa, if Chuck Grassley decides to retire and they don't nominate a really good Republican, I'm in the middle of a recording. This is why I should never record in this room. Mommy, can I close the door now? Oh, here, take the camera and the phone book. This is better. Ow. So Florida, Alabama, you might also be a bit surprised because considering that. Oh wait, I was in the middle of Iowa. If they run like a Marjorie Taylor Greene candidate, against a really good Democrat in this thing, I see it getting pretty competitive, but I don't think that'll happen. Also, Alaska. Remember, Lisa Murkowski is up in 2022. And guess what the candidate will probably be? Joe Miller. He will probably be the candidate who runs against Lisa Murkowski again. And Joe Miller, how do I say, is not a Democrat. He got the Republican nomination in, I believe, 2010, ran as an independent in 2016. No, this is 2016. Run as a libertarian in 2016, and will probably run as an independent in 2022. But I see Alabama going likely, Alaska going likely Republican, just because there's this new system called ranked choice voting. If you don't understand what it is, so I believe if no candidate reaches 50% of the votes, instead of going to a runoff, talking to you, Georgia, really adopt the system. Nobody wants to be waiting 3 months. 3 months in order to find out who won a runoff election when polling data in the state can be trusted. So basically, Maine and Alaska's starting to use it a bit more. Maine's already used it. So basically, with ranked choice voting, you basically have 2 candidates. Let's say it's Joe Miller and Lisa Murkowski, and the independent candidate. So let's say Lisa Murkowski gets 40. Actually, let's take 2 different candidates, because let's take Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. No, Joe Manchin and Tommy Tuberville. Yeah. So let's say Joe Manchin gets only 95. No, that's too high, obviously. What if Joe Manchin only gets like 40% of the vote? And Tuberville only gets 37. But an independent candidate, Bernie Sanders, 77 minus 17. No, 12. 12. No, 22. It's 22. No, 23. 23. It's 23. So let's say an independent like Bernie Sanders tries running. So with a regular voting system, the victory would go to, I believe, Joe Manchin. But since neither candidate reaches 50%, we take the last place and distribute voters through it. Distribute voters to who their second choice would be. So in Bernie Sanders' case, most of the Bernie Sanders supporters would, in this case, let's just say all of the Bernie Sanders. It might not be all of them, but in this case, we're going to use all of them. So all of Bernie Sanders voters, this won't happen always. All of Bernie Sanders voters would be distributed to Joe Manchin. So if we add 40 plus 23, it's 63. 63 to 37. So Joe Manchin would win the state of Nevada. I don't know why I'm doing this. Oh, no, Ohio State Republican. So I think Arizona will be... Okay, I'm trying to middle of the recording. Yeah, there's a ton of interruption, so I'm just gonna pause it. Don't leave yet. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So I consider Arizona by a likely margin that's more than 5%. Main reason I'm considering that is, well, Mark Kelly is pretty sure he's going to be a very popular senator. Kristen Sinema, I don't know as much. I don't know if she'll be as much popular. But Mark Kelly could possibly, if he just increases support by around 3 to 4%, he could win the state by more than 5%. So I consider this is the first likely state also. So in the state of Florida, yeah, I don't expect the state to go with the Democrats, despite many people are considering this as no longer a swing state. Then again, they did break their bellwether streak that they had since 1992. Since 1996, they've had a bellwether streak. So, but that was interesting. I need to see something. I believe it was Arizona, not Georgia. Georgia was 1992. Yeah, Arizona voted for Clinton. In the same year, Georgia voted for Clinton. In the same year, Florida broke its bellwether streak. So I think Georgia and Florida might have some relation to each other. So considering that Marco Rubio's win in the state wasn't by a huge margin, I'd say by a likely margin. So especially since the state has been trending a little bit more. Meanwhile, in New Hampshire, if in New Hampshire Kristen Sununu decides to run, I would consider it tilt Democratic. But I don't think Kristen Sununu has decided he wants to run yet. I don't believe so. So I'm gonna put the state as likely Democrat. Just because Sununu is like one of the best options. Maggie Hassan only won the state by around 0.1%, but Donald Trump only lost the state by 0.4%. Plus, Aaron Day kind of had a spoiler effect. New Hampshire is a traditionally Democratic state, but I'd probably put it in a lean Democratic column by only around 4.7%. If Kristen Sununu, although maybe I'd put it at a less likely margin, it's been trending blue in these last few elections. Missouri, it's been trending more Republican. In 2008, it broke its bellwether streak and has been trending Republican a lot since, going from only 0.1 for McCain to 15.4 for Trump. So I'd consider this state as a likely margin too. Alabama, I don't know why I didn't consider this earlier. Oh wait, since Doug Jones won the state of Alabama, this state might become, it's probably not going to become competitive in the future, but Democrats could eye the state, although I don't think it's going to go to the Democrats too easily, if not at all. 4 states left. Ohio, I think, will go to whichever Republican wins, assuming they run a good candidate, by around a likely margin, because he might not have as much of an appeal as Rob Portman. Chuck Grassley hasn't announced his retirement yet, though. And he won almost every single county in the state, except Johnson County, although this isn't really in one of the big cities. So I consider it as a safe margin, more than 15 points, considering that how much he won it by. Although, if we consider that, I believe it will be a likely margin. And then we can go down to back to Georgia. So Warnock won his Senate race by 2%. Considering that I believe Stacey Abrams will try running for governor again in 2022. Together, I believe that she and Warnock, since they'll both be on the same ballot, I believe they'll be able to benefit each other. They're both inspirational black leaders. So, I think Warnock can win his Senate race by around 5-ish%. Especially if they try nominating Marjorie Taylor Greene. If they try nominating Marjorie Taylor Greene, I have no doubt in my mind that Georgia will probably be decided by a almost safe likely margin or a safe margin. If Marjorie Taylor runs, Kelly Loeffler runs, I don't see it going as much. But if Marjorie Taylor Greene runs, I just don't see Marjorie Taylor Greene winning. The only reason she's been elected is because she's from a pretty Republican-held state, congressional district. She's from a pretty Republican-held congressional district, so she doesn't really have any opposition too much that she should worry about. I'd like to see her in a swing state though, I'd like to see her running for Georgia Senate. Saying the Portland, wait, was it in Portland? Things were, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, that's where Doug Holt comes from. Why are your clothes up anyway? Hang on, I'm trying to find where she is. I can't find so wait, I know she's from a Republican district, so either way, so Georgia being the tipping point state, although there are still a few more states to characterize. Pennsylvania. No, I think the state will go tilt Democratic, less than 1%, to lean Democratic. Right now, my initial characterization is tilt, because Pennsylvania, the Republican won. Senator Patrick Toomey won by around not a very large margin, only about like 1.5%. Then again, it did vote for Donald Trump only by like 0.72%. Why was that a silence anyway? Anyway, so I believe Pennsylvania will be lean Democratic. It would only take a 2-point flip, so he'd only need to win by like more than 2 points in order. Actually, more than 1 point. He'll only need to win by 1 point. No, actually 0.5. Actually, he would need to flip it by point. He would need to flip the state and then win it by like 0.5%ish. Either way, I believe Pennsylvania will be a likely lean state. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin usually votes to the left of Pennsylvania in these last few elections. They usually. And plus it's Ron Johnson. He may have almost objected to certain election results, but I think he could win, considering that he won by around like 3 percentage points. I believe he can win by around. I think by a tilt margin, but that's still a margin nonetheless. So there are only 2 more states. Indiana, yeah, I don't see Indiana flipping, like at all. It went to the Republicans back in 2018. It went to Young by like 9 percentage points. The reason I didn't characterize it is because the Libertarian candidate Lucy Brenton took 5.5% of the vote. Then it would be very close. So I think this would be a likely Republican state. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, this is the state that basically like puts the Democrats at a larger majority, or the Republicans at a larger majority. I personally think North Carolina will be a tilt margin. Just because it's North Carolina. I locked the door for a reason, Shreon! And he fell on the floor. Burr won by like around 8 percentage points. So I believe he could possibly win. So this is the finalized electoral map. Democrats win 1 Senate seat. Win only 1 Senate seat back. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Bye. Sorry for the instructions.